What's up, guys? CJK1231 back again with another hip hop album review. By the way, if you can't see my eyes, don't mind me. It's just after I talk for a while wearing like a scully or something like that, it just kind of goes from like right here, and as I like move my eyebrows, it goes down and down and down. So it is what it is. Anyways, today we're here to review Little Brother Made the Lord Watch. Now, funny thing about Little Brother is I first discovered a Little Brother years ago, maybe around '06 or something like that. And the way I discovered them was through a YouTube video of a guy comparing which was the better duo between Little Brother and Clips. Now, of course, Clips basically they were already popping in the mainstream at that point in time, grinding, Lord willing, and of course Health Has No Fury, which are classics in their own right. But I haven't heard of Little Brother, and when I heard the tracks that they were comparing to go against Clips, one of the tracks was A Beautiful Morning off the Minstrel Show. And ever since then, I've kind of been trying to keep up with them and keep up with their work and stuff. So, originally it was Ninth Wonder, Fonte, and rapper Big Pooh, but after the Minstrel Show, Ninth kind of went to do his own thing, and Big Pooh and Fonte went to do their own stuff as a duo. So they had the Get Back and the Left Back, the last album, which was 2010. Now, what I will say about this project is absolutely amazing, and the fact that they took 9 years off in order to come back and do this and still sound like they haven't missed a beat is just incredible. And in certain interviews they do talk about some backstory, how they weren't really that close when they were a duo at all. Like even back then, like even when they were touring, they would only appear with each other on stage and then like a couple of minutes backstage before they left and after they left the show after they performed. But beyond that, they didn't really hang with each other. So in order to make this album, they really had to kind of get to know each other again, because they haven't spoke to each other in 5 years before the process of making this project and stuff. And they said that it was Fife's death that really made Pooh and Fonte kind of want to talk to each other again and kind of, at least if not reunite, to rekindle any differences that they've had and rekindle that friendship. Because Tribe being such an iconic group and Fife being such an iconic figure in hip-hop, to see him go made them, they felt their mortality at that point. But man, the fact that they came back, let's talk first off the return of UBN. And the UBN was a thing that they actually did on the Minstrel Show. So that's back, as well as Peter Rosenberg from Hot 97. He's back too. And yeah, a lot of references off that album. This could be looked at as a Minstrel Show Part 2, essentially. Because they had the skits and everything. And the skits are very funny. If you want to talk about the skits, I like the first one with Peter Rosenberg on it. And that beat that was playing, it was like the second track. Holy crap, that beat is beautiful. A lot of beats on here are beautiful. Man, the one with they talk about Joe Scudder. It feels good to be a white man again. This is so funny. And then that family, I forgot her name. The other skit where it's the old man and his son had beef, and the lady's trying to see if she could kind of rekindle that friendship or whatever they had, that family bond, father-son bonding on her show. Then the UBN Sports Network, all the skits here were funny. I can't really say that I didn't laugh at any of them. They were all pretty good. And another thing is, this album, to me, if I had to compare it, it's their Stakes is High and it's their We Got It From Here, Thank You For Your Service. The reason why, to me, it's their Stakes is High from De La Soul, is because for the longest time, because of the Get Back and the Left Back, a lot of people didn't think that Little Brother could make a really good project without Ninth Wonder. Before this, a lot of people considered the Minstrel Show to be the last thing they've done together of any real great, impressive importance as far as Little Brother as a duo is concerned. They both went to do their separate things, but as a duo, a lot of people look at the Minstrel Show as their last great project, and that was with Ninth Wonder. Even though a quarter way in, he kind of left the project, from what I've heard. But yeah, man. Yeah. So this is essentially in my opinion, their stakes is high just because at the time when after Balloon Mind State and Prince Paul left to go work on other stuff like Grave Diggers, well, really we'll get into the backstory of that if we ever review that album and do De La's whole discography. But essentially, it was somewhat similar to the Ninth Wonder Little Brother situation. They kind of had a discrepancy, and they went their separate ways. And the question was, could De La do it again? And they did, because as we know now, I don't know about you, but general consensus around from the people I talked to and the things I've read is Stakes is High is a classic. Like that would be like if after Balloon Mind State, De La Soul dropped Mosaic Thump and Bionics, and then dropped Stakes is High. That's kind of the same thing here. And to me, it's their We Got It From You, Thank You For Your Service. This is their version of that album from Tribe, because again, Tribe came back after, I don't know, 16 years and dropped another incredible body of work. Same thing here. Little Brother was absent for like 9 years, and they came back, and it's like nothing ever. It's just like they never broke up in the first place. It's like it's a very, very impressive album. Would I put it up there? We Got It From Here? I mean, that's just a discussion for another day. But I think it's pretty amazing. But yeah, a lot of the stuff in here talks about like where they are in life, where Pooh and Fonte are in life right now. A lot of grown man bars. This is definitely like an album that an older adult can listen to. Someone like that's 30 and over and could feel comfortable listening to. Like this is the album for like. I don't want to say it's an album for grown-ups. It could be for anybody's listening pleasure, but you know how the younger kids, they say hip-hop's a young man's sport, so the younger kids have their younger artists that they can listen to and feel comfortable. This is something that a grown man or a grown woman can listen to and feel completely fine. The production on here is great. That's the thing. Like, they did it without Ninth Wonder, and yet when you have production from Crisis, Devin Morrison, Focus, Black Gold, King Mike Coy, Abjo, Zoe, Knots, Black Milk, and Fonte himself, the fact that this whole album sounds like, well, to be honest, like a few of these members, like Crisis and Knots, are part of the Jamless squad, so they kind of have that Little Brother sound that was created by Ninth. He created the soundscape for him, so it almost sounds like this album sounds like it was produced by Ninth Wonder, but without Ninth Wonder. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's not taking anything from them, because they all came up at the same time, so they have their own styles and they deserve their own credit. It's just that their production styles sound a bit similar since they all came up around each other. So, that's all I'm saying. So, in other words, yeah, again, it feels like this picks up right off where Menstrual Show left off. And yeah, Pooh and Fonte are top notch. And they proved that they could make an album without Ninth Wonder at the end of the day. That's all I have to say about this album in general. Now I guess we could get into the favorite tracks. All the skits are great, so I'm gonna just take that out the way. I don't think I mean, every track on here is amazing. There's just some that I feel like it's amazing, but I'd rather not listen to. I think that The Feel is kind of one of them, and I know another one is Good Morning Sunshine, even though that's a pretty impressive track. I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty good, cool track. I think another track that I gotta think of the other one, but there's 15 tracks on this whole album, and I don't think, if I'm not messing with 3, that means I messed with 12 out of. That's a pretty amazing album. Let's talk about the ones I do feel. Now, I did state The Feel because it's an amazing intro. The beat is kind of like great. It's not amazing, but great, and they're basically talking about that they're back. That's basically what the song is. Is like, okay, they're back. We're here. Little Brother's here. So, you know what I mean? Enough said about that. Then you have Everything, which is them talking about searching the energy to continue and reconcile and not, hold on. Because I have the notes here. Yeah. So basically that's what this track is about. Everything. This is talk about searching for the energy to concentrate and continue on, reconcile whatever problems they have, and not wasting any more time, because like I said, when they were making this album, they really, really, kind of gotten to that age where, they realize they're not invincible. They're older now, so the mortality is kind of playing a bigger part in their realization thinking process, if that makes any sense to you guys. Like, they're realizing that, okay, we're not going to be here forever, so let's squash any feebleness and continue what we do best while we can still do it. So then you have Right on Time, which is about not giving up and getting back to your business and getting your business in track. One of my favorite lines from here is when Fonte says, "Make a little change, finally got my credit right with Equifax, got it, you're feeling like he found the Tesseract." And I can relate to that just because right now I'm going through some financial stuff and I have to contact Equifax, and it's a really, really hard thing to have to go through, especially when it's a really long process and you don't know if you're gonna like win or get the results you want. And man, once this is over and I do get my stuff straight with Equifax, holy, that's gonna feel like a weight lifted off my shoulders. So yeah, Right on Time, guys, another great track. My favorite track on the whole album is the only one I think they shot a video for. I don't know if they're gonna shoot more, and that's Black Magic. It's basically to sum it up in a sentence is stop faking it. If you're talking about it, be about it, and get ready to carry the ball if you finally got it. Carry the torch once you finally grab it, and once you have your position that you want, you have to make sure that you're ready to take it and run with it for as long as you can. You know what I mean? A lot of the first verses, them telling the big mouths that talk all of it, if you're not gonna do it, then don't talk at all. And the second verse is them saying, okay, well, once you have it now you have it, now continue and go with it, don't slack. That's what I got from that track. Good Morning Sunshine is like a love song towards their it could be looked at as two ways: a love poem to hip hop or to their significant others. It works either way. And then what I came for, I loved the production on this. It talks about how they're still working hard to keep what they got and not listen to naysayers, essentially. You know what I mean? Like the fact that they, that the responsibility to carry the torch as far as like keeping the South going with some integrity is based on them. A lot of Fonte's verse was more so of that caliber, but that's what that song is about. I like that song. Sitting Alone, I could relate to this because I think people say that I'm too mature for my age, and this is probably one of the reasons why, is because it talks about old guys needing to stop acting like they're still young and for them to act their age and just grow up. How guys that'll be like 30 something trying to hit on a chick that's like 21, 24, 26, yet these guys are like in their late 30s, late 40s trying to be young, or just going to a strip club and thinking like it's still all cool. I mean, I'm not speaking against guys that do that. I personally relate to this song because I don't do any of this. I'm 27 and I feel like half of the stuff I'm just like cool. I'm cool, but maybe that's why I get it. But there are I know a couple of people, men in particular, that this whole song could apply to. They might feel offended, but you know what I mean. So you just, if you're at a certain age, then you gotta just like be more mature about things and just look at save that other stuff for the young ones that have the energy to do that. I mean, if that's your vice, then hey, it is what it is. But I just like the overall message of that song. Picture This is basically how they never thought that being rappers would ever, be a thing that would, go on to support them. And, basically, it's something that, it's like that dream that you had that you always thought was impossible. You couldn't possibly be it, and when you finally got it, now you have naysayers and you have to wave them away. That's what that whole track is about, essentially. The fact that they were fans of hip hop, and to being fans to one day now actually being artists, and the fact that it's able to kind of like support them. Like if I had to sum it up in a saying, it's like love enjoying what you do and having it support you. It's like you're living based off the work that you do that you love to do. It's like you're turning your hobby into essentially a means of income. They never thought it was possible, and the fact that they got it, they're grateful. And then finally, Walk Through Me, which is the last track, which talks about how far they've come and every how they've overcome a lot of negative stuff. You know what I mean? The fact that little brother, after all this time, after having their differences, having people ask them, is little brother ever going to come back? Having people probably even think that they were washed and that's why they broke up in the first place. The fact that they went through all that to get to this point, to do this album, and to close it off with this track, that says it all, basically, guys. I mean, and those are my favorite tracks. I know I think I maybe missed one or two tracks that I probably wasn't, like, they're still amazing and just as amazing as these other tracks I talked about, but I just wasn't like, you know what I mean? I was like, it's amazing, but I'd rather not. So, yeah, man, in closing, Little Brother did it again, and I cannot say more than I want to say right now that if they do drop another project, I will be tuning in. I don't know how soon they'll do it, but I'm guessing they're going to take some time because they did work hard on this. They've been working on this for a minute, so I guess it's time to rate it, right? Okay, well, I went back and forth on this. This is another one of the albums where I had to choose between 4.5 or just a 5 out of 5. So far, I've given Rhapsody and Common the only ones to get 5 out of 5s. You know what? Man, this is a difficult one to rank, because it's just so incredible. You know what I'm gonna do? 4.5. I'll say 4.5 because even though if you haven't watched my Rhapsody review, you could go ahead and check that out. It's basically the same thing, but the reason why the other one got a 5.5 is because it's the message overall in the whole album, the meaning, like, it was more than the album. This is an amazing, incredible moment in a hip-hop album where, to me, Rhapsodies was basically a whole history of acts in a hip-hop album, and it was like a coming-of-age type thing. So it was really different. I mean, if you want to call it a 5.5, I don't disagree. I believe it's a 5.5 too, but it's a 4.5 in the fact that I'm okay with only 2 tracks. I'm not really that hype about them. Like, for me, it has to be like something that I cannot skip at all, like the Common album, or something that's near flawless with an additional message that kind of puts more shine on it, like the Rhapsody album. So, I mean, the fact that Little Brother has a 4.5 is not bad at all. Okay, they actually managed to make an album like this without Ninth Wonder, which was one of the biggest complaints that people had and were worried about when they found out that he wasn't doing any production. So I have nothing wrong to say. Fonte and Pooh are incredible, and they proved it with this project. So, anyways, I'm gonna cut it short because time's running out, and I gotta, upload it. So next will be ASAP Ferg, Floor Seats. So stay tuned for that. Until then, guys, love you. Be safe. If you like, you comment. And subscribe if you like what I'm doing here, because subscriptions are earned, not asked for, okay? Remember that, guys. So, with that being said, CJK123, I'm out. And I bid you farewell, and I bid you adieu.